The vibration outside grew stronger as Daniel held the glowing alien baby close. The wooden floor under his feet trembled lightly, as if something massive was moving across the sky above. Max's ears went up, his body stiff with fear, and he let out a low growl. The alien mother struggled to sit up, her weak hands gripping the blanket, her eyes shining with warning. Daniel could feel her fear almost like a cold wind in the room. He didn't know what kind of enemy she had, but he understood one thing clearly. They were close. A sudden flash of white-blue light cut across the window, bright as lightning, but silent. Daniel froze. Max barked loudly, but Daniel pulled him close. Trying to quiet him, he peeked through a small gap in the curtain, his heart pounding against his ribs. What he saw made his breath stop. 3 enormous shapes moved slowly across the night sky. They were not planes, not helicopters, but dark, metallic ships, triangular and silent. Their edges glowed with thin blue lights that pulsed like a heartbeat. The ships moved in perfect formation, scanning the ground below with beams of pale light. Daniel felt a chill travel down his spine. These machines were not searching the land randomly. They were hunting something. They were hunting her. The alien mother reached toward Daniel, her hand shaking but urgent. She pointed at the baby, then toward the cellar door. Her meaning was clear. Hide. Daniel quickly moved across the room, holding the baby tight and signaling the mother to follow. But she could barely stand. Daniel rushed back, helping her slowly rise to her feet. Her body trembled with every step, but she forced herself forward, desperate to protect her child. They reached the cellar door, hidden behind a shelf. Daniel pushed it open, revealing the narrow staircase below. He helped the alien mother down first, then followed, closing the door behind him. The cellar was dark and cold, lit only by the soft glow of the alien baby. Their breathing echoed in the small space. Max stayed close to Daniel's legs, shaking but alert, above them. The house creaked as something heavy moved across the roof. Daniel froze. He could hear a faint metallic clicking sound, like claws walking on metal. Then a deep rumbling hum traveled through the walls. The alien mother covered the baby's glowing body with her arms. Trying to hide the light, Daniel held his own breath, listening. The enemy was right above them, suddenly. A strange electronic voice boomed faintly outside, filtered and distorted. Daniel couldn't understand the words, but he could hear the coldness in the tone. The hunters were communicating, searching, closing in. The alien mother tapped Daniel's shoulder and pressed her palm gently to his forehead. Instantly, another vision burst into his mind. He saw a battlefield on another world, armored aliens marching under a dark sky. Their armor sharp and black, their red eyes glowing like burning coals. He saw them tearing through her ship, chasing her down corridors. He saw her grab her baby and escape in a small pod as everything exploded around her. And he saw the leader, a tall armored hunter with a face like a skull. Its voice was the same one echoing outside right now. Daniel gasped, pulling out of the vision. His hands were shaking. He understood now. These hunters would not stop until the mother and baby were dead. They were not here to capture. They were here to erase. The baby let out a small cry, its glow brightening just a little. The alien mother panicked and covered its mouth gently, trying to calm it, but it was too late. A sharp beam of light shot through the window above them, illuminating the cellar door from outside. Daniel felt his stomach twist. They had detected something. The heavy footsteps outside grew louder. 1, 2, 3. Metal boots crushing the dirt and grass with mechanical precision. The alien mother grabbed Daniel's arm, fear flooding her eyes. Daniel whispered softly, "It's okay. Stay quiet, please. Stay quiet." His voice trembled despite his efforts. Then a deep thud shook the house. The hunters had landed. Their scanning devices hummed in high-pitched tones that hurt Daniel's ears. The cellar felt smaller, darker, and colder. Max pressed against Daniel, ready to defend him, even though he was no match for such enemies. Daniel took a deep breath and made a decision he never thought he would make. He slowly picked up an old hunting rifle that hung on the cellar wall. It was useless against machines like those, but he lifted it anyway, not to fight, but to protect the mother and child until his last breath. Above them, the hunter's shadows moved across the windows. Their search was not over. It was only the beginning. The cellar was silent except for the soft, shaky breaths of Daniel, the alien mother, and the glowing baby. Above them, the hunters moved around the house with slow, heavy steps, each step making the wooden beams groan. The sound felt like pressure on Daniel's chest, a reminder that danger was inches above his head. He tightened his grip on the old hunting rifle, even though he knew the weapon was almost useless, but holding it made him feel just a little stronger, a little less helpless. The alien mother sat on the cold floor, her back against a wooden crate, her eyes glowing faintly. Her breaths were shallow, her body weak, but her gaze stayed sharp, watching the cellar door. The glowing baby rested in her arms, small fingers holding her skin tightly. Sensing her fear, every few seconds the baby let out tiny pulses of light, like soft heartbeats spreading through the dark. The mother tried to hide the glow with her hands, but she was too weak to control it fully. Daniel kneeled beside her, whispering, "They won't find you. They won't." He wasn't sure if he believed his own words, but he hoped she couldn't hear the fear in his voice. The alien mother looked at him, her eyes full of worry, but also trust. It surprised Daniel how quickly that trust had formed. Only hours ago, he had never seen her species, never imagined something like her existed. Now he was risking everything to protect her child. A loud metallic thud crashed somewhere above them, making dust fall from the ceiling. Daniel flinched, his heart jumping. The hunters were inside the house, searching every corner, every room, every shadow. Their scanning beams made light shift through the cracks in the floorboards above. Daniel felt the vibrations of their steps through his knees. One of the hunters spoke in its cold, broken mechanical language. The sound dragged through the cellar like a blade. The alien mother trembled, whispering something Daniel couldn't understand, but her meaning was clear. They were getting closer. Max pressed his body against Daniel's leg, growling softly, warning him and trying to comfort him at the same time. Daniel reached down and placed a hand on Max's head. "Stay quiet, boy," he whispered. Max lowered his head but kept his eyes on the stairs, ready to defend his master. Suddenly, a sharp beep echoed from above. Daniel froze. It didn't sound like a normal scan. It sounded like the hunters had detected something alive. The alien mother covered the baby again, but the glow still leaked through her fingers. The baby didn't understand the danger. It only knew hunger, fear, and the warmth of its mother. And the glow grew brighter. Tiny, but enough to catch a sensor. Another loud beep echoed, followed by heavy metallic steps moving directly above the cellar door. Daniel felt his stomach twist. They were found. The alien mother clutched her baby tightly and looked at Daniel with terrified eyes. She spoke quickly in her language, the sounds shaking with urgency. Daniel didn't understand the words, but he understood her meaning. She was asking him to run, to save himself, to leave her and the baby behind. Daniel shook his head fiercely, his jaw tightening. "No," he whispered. "I'm not leaving you." The alien mother stared at him in disbelief. Her people had been hunted for so long that she didn't believe any creature could be this kind. But Daniel wasn't thinking like a soldier or a hero. He was thinking like a human who saw another life in danger. A helpless mother, a helpless child, and something inside him refused to abandon them. The hunters above spoke again, their voices rising. One of them slammed a metal device onto the floor, and a high-pitched scan began. The sound pierced through the cellar like needles. The baby whimpered in pain and fear, its glow flickering out of control. Daniel's heart raced. They only had seconds before the hunters opened the cellar. Daniel stood up and made a choice that would change his entire life. He grabbed the alien mother's arm gently but firmly, then pointed toward a hidden storage room at the back of the cellar. It was a narrow space used for old tools, but it had one special feature. A small hidden exit that led behind the barn, a place the hunter's scans might not detect. He lifted the alien mother carefully. Helping her stand, she was light, shaking, barely able to move. He held the baby in one arm and supported the mother with the other. Max stayed close, barking softly as if urging them to hurry. The hunters above stomped near the cellar door, and the wooden planks creaked violently. Daniel pushed the mother and baby into the hidden space just as a cracking noise echoed the hunters were breaking through the door. The alien mother reached out and touched Daniel's face with weak fingers, her eyes full of fear and hope. Daniel whispered, "Trust me. I'm going to get you out of this." Then he stepped in front of them, rifle raised. He was just a farmer, but tonight he was their shield, and he refused to let the hunters take them. The night was quiet on the edge of Daniel's small farm. The wind moved softly through the trees. The sky was dark with only a thin silver moon shining above. Daniel had just finished his late dinner and was washing the dishes when he heard something strange outside. It was not the sound of an animal, not the howl of a wolf, not the cry of a baby, but something in between. It was sharp, broken, and full of pain. He froze for a moment. Listening again, the sound came once more, louder this time, a mix of fear and sadness that made his heart jump. Daniel lived far from town, and no one ever came to visit him at this hour. He wiped his hands on a towel and moved toward the window, trying to see into the dark, but there was nothing, only the field and the long shadow of the barn. Again, the strange cry cut through the night. But now it sounded closer, right outside his front door. His dog, Max, began to growl low in his throat, ears pointing toward the porch. Max was a brave dog, but tonight even he sounded unsure. Daniel grabbed his flashlight and slowly opened the door. At first, he saw nothing but darkness. Then the beam of his flashlight found a shape on the ground. His breath stopped. There, lying weakly on his doorstep, was a creature unlike anything he had ever seen, a thin alien woman. Her skin a soft pale blue with faint silver lines running across it like rivers of light. Her eyes were large and filled with fear, glowing softly as she looked up at him. Her arms were wrapped tightly around a tiny bundle pressed to her chest. The bundle moved, making a soft glowing sound. A baby, not human, but alive and crying weakly. Daniel stepped back in shock, but the alien mother reached out a trembling hand. Her lips opened, and she whispered one single word in a broken voice, "Please." She could not speak English, but the fear and sorrow in her eyes said everything. She was starving, exhausted, and desperate. The baby's glow flickered weakly, as if fading. Daniel looked around nervously, afraid someone else might be watching. The night felt heavier than before, as if danger was hiding in the dark. For a moment, Daniel didn't move. His mind raced, wondering if this was some kind of trick or danger. But then the alien mother pulled the baby closer, trying to protect it even while she lay weak on the cold ground. Something inside Daniel shifted, a deep feeling he couldn't explain. This was not a monster, not a threat, but a mother fighting to save her child. He knelt beside her, slowly, so he wouldn't scare her. "It's okay," he said softly, not knowing if she understood. "I won't hurt you." The alien mother blinked slowly, as if thanking him. Daniel reached out and gently touched the baby's blanket. The baby glowed brighter for a moment, reacting to his touch. Max stopped growling and moved closer, sniffing carefully, then wagged his tail, as if he understood something Daniel did not. The alien mother tried to lift the baby toward Daniel, but she was too weak. Her arms fell back, and she breathed heavily, her body shaking. Daniel knew he had to act fast. If he left them outside, they would not survive the night. He looked around again, feeling the hair on the back of his neck stand up. Something was wrong. Something dangerous was in the air. but he pushed the fear aside and picked up the alien mother gently. She was light, too light, as if she had not eaten in days. The baby let out a soft cry, glowing brighter as Daniel lifted them. "Come on," Daniel whispered. "You're safe with me." He carried them inside and closed the door quickly. Locking it, Max stood guard near the entrance. Ears up, watching the windows, Daniel laid the alien mother on his couch and placed the baby beside her. The baby reached toward Daniel with tiny, glowing fingers. The mother watched him with tired, grateful eyes. Then, suddenly, a deep humming sound echoed from outside, vibrating through the walls. The alien mother's eyes widened in fear, and she reached weakly toward Daniel as if begging him to keep quiet. Daniel turned off the lights, his heart pounding. The night outside was no longer quiet. Something was searching for them, and now Daniel was part of it. The house was dark and quiet as Daniel stood near the window, listening to the strange humming fading into the night. His heart was beating fast, but he tried to stay calm. The alien mother lay on the couch, breathing weakly, while the glowing baby curled against her chest. Daniel had never seen anything like them, yet he felt no fear now, only worry. Max sat beside the couch, watching the alien mother with careful eyes, as if guarding her. Daniel took a deep breath and moved closer. The mother's skin shimmered softly, like moonlight on water, but the glow was faint. It was the glow of someone who had almost no energy left. Her silver blue eyes opened a little as Daniel knelt beside her. She tried to speak, her voice thin and broken, but the words were not human. They sounded like gentle echoes. Shaking with pain, Daniel shook his head slowly. "I don't understand," he whispered. But the alien mother pressed her hand weakly to her throat, then to her stomach. Daniel understood the meaning. Even without words, she was starving. She had not eaten or drunk anything for a long time. Daniel rushed to the kitchen and returned with water in a small cup. He held it carefully near her. Unsure how her body would react, the alien mother looked at the cup, then at Daniel. She seemed afraid, but also desperate. When Daniel lifted the cup to her lips, she sipped slowly, and her eyes filled with relief. The glowing baby made a soft sound, as if comforted by the sight. After a moment, the mother lifted her arm with great effort and pointed at the baby. Her gesture was clear. The baby needed something too. Daniel looked at the glowing creature lying on the blanket. Its body was so small, so fragile, and the light inside it flickered like a candle in the wind. He felt a strange sense of responsibility he had never felt before. He sat down beside the baby and touched its tiny hand. The glow brightened instantly, responding to his warmth. The baby made a soft, musical sound, almost like a greeting. Daniel smiled a little, surprised at how peaceful the moment felt. But the alien mother suddenly grabbed his wrist with surprising strength. Her eyes widened, full of warning. She pointed again at the door, and her body trembled. Daniel understood. Someone was still out there. Something was hunting them, and they would not stop until they found the mother and her child. The humming sound from earlier echoed in his mind. It had not been thunder, not a plane, but something unearthly, something powerful. Daniel felt a cold fear crawl down his spine. He didn't know what was coming, but he knew it was dangerous. The alien mother suddenly pressed her fingertips to the side of Daniel's head. A soft glow spread from her fingers, and Daniel gasped. In a flash of images, he saw what had happened to her. A burning ship crashing through clouds. Dark armored figures with glowing red eyes breaking through doors. Her running through a forest with her baby. Laser beams cutting trees behind her. Her falling, crawling, protecting her child even when she could barely stand. Daniel pulled back, breathing hard. The vision vanished, but the feeling stayed. Fear, sadness, and her desperate need to save her baby. She looked at him, silently asking for help. Daniel couldn't speak for a moment, but then he nodded. "I'll protect you," he whispered. "I promise." The baby reached toward Daniel again, glowing warmly, as if trusting him already. Max barked softly, sensing the tension in the room. Daniel stood up and locked the doors, then pulled the curtains shut. He placed blankets over the windows to hide the light. He didn't know who or what was coming, but he would not let them find the mother and child. Daniel brought more water and a little soft food. The mother ate slowly, her strength returning just enough to keep her awake. She looked around the house with cautious eyes, as if judging whether this place was safe. When the glowing baby cried, Daniel gently picked it up. The baby curled happily against his chest, its light brightening as it felt his heartbeat. "Easy there," he whispered. The baby made a soft, musical sound, a note of pure trust. The alien mother watched, a faint smile on her tired face. For the first time, she seemed hopeful, but then the air outside shifted again. A deep vibration rolled across the ground, reaching the foundation of the house. The alien mother's eyes widened with fear. She sat up a little, pointing toward the cellar door. Her voice was full of urgency, even if Daniel could not understand her words. Daniel's stomach tightened. They were not safe yet. Something was returning, something dangerous. And it was getting closer. Inside the small farmhouse, the human, the alien mother, and the glowing baby waited in tense silence. The night outside carried secrets Daniel had never imagined. And now he was part of those secrets, whether he liked it or not.